Ball Blue Book Guide to Preserving. Okay, I'm all set up and ready to can. I have my water bath canner here. I have my stock pot that I'm going to be cooking the fruit in. I have all of my tools here for my jars. The sugar, lemon juice, the Sure Gel, fruit pectin. I have a measuring cup here that I'm going to use to pour the fruit into the jars, or the jam into the jars. I ran out of these jars. I really like these jars. They're really cute jars. I really like those. But I ran out of those, and so I'm using 2 half-pint jelly jars and 1 of the tall jelly jars. So that'll be fine. These are my lids. I order these lids in bulk, so when it's canning season, I don't have to worry about running out of lids. Have the rings and all the things that we need to can this recipe. Sugar and lemon juice in the pot, and this is going to need to cook for a little bit and get all thawed out and cook out some of the water that was in it from the fruit being frozen. Okay, the sugar is dissolved in the fruit, so I'm going to use the immersion blender and get this all pureed up. Up to a boil, a little bit of a simmer. So we're going to add in our pectin. And then this has to come up to a rolling boil that you can't stir down for 1 full minute. It needs to boil really hard. So it's coming up to a boil. And we want this to boil hard for 1 full minute. So as soon as it gets to a rolling boil, I'll set my timer for 1 minute. And then I will turn the heat off. I have our hot jars here. And I'm going to start ladling in our jam. It's already starting to set up, so I know that it is going to set up for us. It's so beautiful too. Very pretty jam. This needs a 1/4 inch headspace. And they need to process in the water bath canner for 10 minutes. Jars need to be filled to a 1/4 inch headspace right here on this little marker thing. Is checking the jars for the headspace just one more time to make sure all of them are a 1/4 inch, and it looked like all of them were except one, and it was just maybe a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons shy of that mark that I needed to hit to get to a 1/4 inch. So I'm just filling that up so it'll be right on the money so I can get the jars wiped down and ready to can. You just want to use a clean wet cloth and wipe around the tops of the jars. Get all of the sticky jam off of the top of the jars and around the sides and stuff, but especially on the top. Pay real close attention to that, because that will cause you to have or not have a good seal if your jar is not wiped down properly. So make sure that you take a clean towel with a little bit of water on it, and wipe those jars down. You even can wipe them down with a little bit of vinegar on your towel if you want. And here I'm just putting on a lid and a ring. The rings, all you want to do to those is twist the ring with your fingertips just until you can't twist it with your fingertips anymore. You don't want to hold on to the jar and twist that ring super tight. You just want to put the ring on and tighten it just with your fingertips, and then set those on the rack and get them ready to go into the canner. I'm going to lower these jars on the rack down into the water. It's simmering right now. Put the lid on it, and when it comes up to a boil, I'll set my timer for 10 minutes for them to process. The canner processed for 10 minutes, and then I took the lid off and let the jar sit for 5 minutes. And now I'm taking them out of the canner, and look at this. Look how pretty this is. That is so beautiful. So this was a good way to use up those bags of fruit, or the bag of fruit that I had in our freezer, because as we go into the canning season for this year, I want to make sure that I have all of the space inside both of our freezers available for the new stuff that's going to come in from the garden and get preserved. But here is our finished product. I'm going to let these sit overnight, take the rings off, label the jars, and store them on our pantry shelf to have for us to enjoy.